Is it plugged in now? I don't think I plugged it in all the way. There it is. There you go. Now I have sound. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's the 808 State from the Big Island of Hawaii. If you guys haven't done so, please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Today's topic is pretty much gear that is useful to any content creator. This is stemming from my 6 years now as a YouTube content creator, which started slow and it's picking up, and I learned a lot. So therefore, I have a lot of gear that I purchased throughout those 6 years, and I wanted to show you guys some of the most useful gear that I started with and that I'm currently using, and pretty much that. So if you guys are interested in all that stuff, the links for all these products will be in the description below. I will update after the stream because I might use some stuff that I haven't put in the description yet. And let's get started. First of all, as a content creator, in my eyes, you should start with a camera. And plenty of people ask me that, what type of camera should I go with? Should I start with a Sony? Should I start with a Canon? Should I start with a Nikon or Lumix or whatever? Before you throw out thousands of dollars that you want to invest into your YouTube career or anything, I'd say start with your phone. Because with your phone that you have with you already, if you're a minor, usually your parents are already paying for this contract, and usually these phones these days, cameras is really, really, really good. And I mean, you can do a lot with this whole thing. I mean, I can show it to you right here, right now, just for the heck of it. I believe I sent the invite link to myself too, because I invited other YouTubers too that use a lot of gear. And let's see what we can do here. Accept all cookies, yes. Have a laptop? No, I'm good. Why is it not working? Now that I tried to show it off, it worked earlier in the house. I don't know it's not working now. Entering the studio. I don't want that. Click here. Continue. Oh, it wanted me to go through the browser. I get it. Because I was in Messenger. Okay, allow this time. 808. So enter the studio. So I'm entering the studio right now. And I'm actually going to turn off my audio on my microphone. Myself on. There we go. Now I got to turn on my laptop. There. So as you guys can see here, I'm using my phone right now. My phone. I don't know why I looked into that camera right there, but I'm using my phone. So you can also use that like this, and then you can actually set it up. Let's say I wanted to live stream. I'm live streaming right now from my phone to this live streaming software. So this is the quality of the phone, while that right there is the quality of the camera that I'm currently using, which is a very expensive camera. I'm just using that for streaming right now because I'm not doing the other one. So anyhow, I'm going to remove myself from here. There. Now, oh yeah, hang on. I got to exit. Can I remove myself? Kick from studio. I kicked myself. So anyhow, you start off with your phone. I think that's one of the best things to start with. And of course, don't throw it around. But you start with your phone. Once you get comfortable utilizing your phone, because we have a lot of things like the Osmo Mobile, DJI Osmo Mobile, which is like $160. We have the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro, which is a gimbal that is for your phone. Unlike a gimbal for the camera, like this one, the RH3 Pro, they're smaller and they are $160 versus $1,000 for you to use to stabilize your footage. Plenty of the cameras already. I don't have plenty of room because I put all my gear here. Anyhow, plenty of these cameras these days have already integrated stabilization. So in my eyes, to start off as a content creator, the most useful tool for you is your cell phone to start off with. You can take pictures with that. You can film stuff with it. And you can just get started because the audio for that is technically seen not bad either. It's actually pretty good. Um, I mean, you guys just seen it. If anything, after you go and you start building up, and you made some money or you saved up some money, and you're looking into building up your audience and get a better, higher quality with more control. I always say it that way because the cameras itself that you purchase, the mirrorless cameras these days, they're about control, controlling the image, controlling the shutter, controlling the ISO. There's a lot of factors that have to be put in place that you need as well. So now if you start and you start with like a A6400 like I have here, and this one is slightly rigged out already. You see I have the cage right here. I have a HDMI adapter in here for go from mini HDMI to regular size HDMI. I have a battery plate on top of this thing, but just to start off with it, the A6400 right now that comes with a 16 millimeter lens, which is perfect for vlogging and perfect for product videography and all that stuff. It's just not a zoom. It's a 16 millimeter prime, but it's an amazing lens that gives you a very, very wide field of view, and it's your starter point to start off with stuff, and it is in the sub $1,000 category. You add on a cage, a battery plate, a dummy battery, all those things. That's when you start ending up investing a little bit more. You know what I mean? So start with your cell phone, move over to mirrorless, and there's tons of options out there. You have the M50 from Canon. You have all these different, the A6000 series from Sony, which you can find used right now for like $500, $500 to $600. Anyhow, while I'm talking about this stuff, somebody just entered my studio who's a very good friend of mine, and we met at the NAB of this year, and we became really good friends. So, without further ado, here's Corey from Freaky Tech Reviews, my man. Add to Stitch. What's up, my brother?
What's up, brother? Man, what an intro. You're a lot nicer to me than I am.
Oh, because I turned off my sound on my damn laptop. There you go. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, quite an intro, brother. Thank you. It's good to see you.
You don't have echo in there, right? Because I'm using the mic right now.
You sound great.
Yeah, it's so see, that's another thing. Anyhow, I've been talking about gear, starting off gear. I just literally streamed myself to the studio with my cell phone, which is like the best and most useful gear that I can think of as a content creator to start off before you move over to the big boys, the big boy league, which is usually, or the small boy league, which is the A6400 with a 60 millimeter lens, battery adapter, and cage. So the cage is like $30. Anyhow, but that would be the upgrade from the cell phone, I would say, in my eyes. But like I said it before, there's tons of options out there. You have the Canon M50 or T50, no 50 M50.
Well, R50V is their latest release for like their entry level lineup.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so you have goodies like that, and they're cheap too. It's all sub $1,000. You know what I mean? So these days, especially with this tariff stuff going on right now, it's like I looked just the other day. I wanted to actually recommend this camera right here. Let me move this out of the way. I have so much stuff on my desk right now to show off. Anyhow, this bad boy right here, which is the Osmo Pocket 3. So I wanted to actually recommend that as one of the most useful tools for BTS in my eyes, like behind the scenes. If you need something behind the scenes as a camera for a content creator, this is it. Like, it's so compact and small. Yeah, exactly. See, you have one too. Yeah. And I think it's great for behind the scenes content and footage. It's just right now, I just looked, it's $900 something for the creator combo. Yeah. And that is because of the tariffs. They literally just hit. And it's crazy how that works.
I want to know what's up with that desk. What, like that blue window in the bottom? What is that?
This? Yeah. Oh, this is actually, so I got this entire table. This is actually a countertop for a register. The register was mounted in this spot right here, but it was not like cut through. So I actually dremeled out the outside, or I routed out the outside to the size of this window that I had, which was from a nightstand. And then I put a light in the bottom.
It looks amazing. I love that.
So It's great for this kind of shooting, and if I put this camera a little bit lower, because I think I'm actually kind of dark. So, but if you put this little bit lower, so you can see the table too, you see how my hands light up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily hit my face really that on, but it lights up the inside of my hat, so it gives me a little bit of that blue shimmer.
Yeah, I love that. So you're talking about like gear stuff in the studio. I'm gonna adjust my angle a little bit. I am big on having lighting just bouncing off of, like, I do a lot of product videography, right? Because of product reviews. And I'll either do my channel colors or I'll do that company's colors. Like if there's a company that I want to like impress, I'll go to their website, take a look at like they're like, are they red, are they green, are they blue, whatever it is, and have that bouncing off of their product. And I love doing that because it adds just a little touch, you know.
Yeah, I seen that on when you did the controller.
Oh yeah, the Xbox
when you did the controller. I was like, oh, I didn't even think, because I do all direct lighting. Like I don't do bouncing off at all. Like I never thought of that until I started watching yours, and I think Terry's one, Terry Warfield. I started watching a little bit of his stuff, and he was like, oh, you gotta bounce it off. Oh no, Coffee. It was Coffee.
Oh,
Coffee.
Yeah.
When I was watching Coffee's video, and I actually wrote on Discord and I told him, your scene looks kind of dark. I mean, he is dark. You know what I mean? So, so I'm like,
dude, if you want a guy to watch to learn all that, so Daniel Schiffer is like the king of product videography. But there's another guy who's a smaller creator called Austin Paul, and I started watching him when he was about like, he was less than 100K subs, and I don't know where he's at now. He doesn't upload too often, but he's a full-time, just like Daniel Schiffer, full-time product videography for commercial stuff like that. Schiffer does things on like, how can I get the most out of the least amount of effort type of thing, where he's like, I'm going to do it as simple as possible and get amazing results. Austin Paul's like, let me throw dollars at gear. And he has just the most like product stuff in his studio. It's insane. And so he is big on the way he lights his products. And it really inspired me to start doing that myself. So I love that. And like behind me, obviously I've got a green screen up here and that product spinner and these lights. So I don't want those lights. I just want the product to be able to be visible and none of those lights to bounce off of it, just the RGB lighting. So
yeah, so that's how I started doing the bouncing off stuff, and I learned it. I need my glasses. I gotta put on my glasses. I was looking at the screen. I was like, how come it's so fuzzy? And then I realized I don't have my glasses on.
Right.
Anyhow, so besides that, if you think of picking up a camera, I can recommend right now, there's the Insta360 X4. It's on sale. And I don't think it's really hit by the tariffs right now. Right. Because it was like for the creator combo, it was like $500 or $600. But this thing is amazing. So I actually got to use the X5 from a friend of mine, and I'm not really convinced to spend another $800 for a brand new creator combo for the X5 just to have an exchangeable lens. I mean, there wasn't anything innovative at all. You know what I mean? Like at all. So you need an action camera because you're doing a lot of stuff. Like, let's say you do skateboarding, snowboarding, motorcycle riding. You do drifting with the cars. You go off-road, dirt biking, whatever, mountain biking, freaking the mountains. You're a skydiver. These cameras are freaking perfect for it. They are not as good as filming with these. I tell you that right off the bat, because I see a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, the mirrorless and blah blah, and the X4 can record in 11K. Yeah, it's 11K, but it's spread apart in 360 degrees of the field of view. Yeah, it's not 11K just on that point. Right. And I learned that the hard way, driving around, thinking to myself, oh, I can do a 360 drive around, you know. And I'm like, One person who is really, really good with cameras, though, is Paul's friend, which is Kyle Watts, who's currently backstage. Let's bring him in.
Hey, Kyle Watts. What's up, man?
Not much, just in the middle of editing some stuff, but throwing the camera on.
Wow. Good to see you, man. We are talking about beginner gear for content creators, and I threw out at first my cell phone with an upgrade to a smaller DSLR or mirrorless camera. And then if you need to, an action camera like the 360 X4, because the X4 is on sale right now. So what are your suggestions, my man?
For small camera?
Yeah, for small cameras, for content creators that just start and don't want to throw anything above 1,000 out the window.
That's under 1,000. Well, I guess, like Pocket 3s. Those good bets.
Everybody's got a Pocket 3.
We literally just talked about the Pocket 3, and the
Yeah.
problem is I just looked at Amazon. I wanted to put the link in, and I put the link in the description. That damn thing is now $900 something.
So, although I don't know if
tariffs
you talked,
literally hit.
I don't know if you talked about like the tariffs over the next 90 days. I don't know if it's going to shift anything, but it's dropped down back to where they were for the next 90 days, right? So like China tariffs were up to 145%, they're down to 30 again, and the Chinese tariffs were up to 125%, they're down to 10% for the next 90 days. Like if both of these countries can like keep their heads screwed on straight and we can continue past the 90 days, we might start seeing some price reductions. However, if people start purchasing these products at this price point, they're not going to drop. If they know they can make those sales at that much of a market, they're going to stick with it.
Well, I just hope that they're sending out my Mavic 4 Pro, because I pre-ordered it the day it came out on B&H. Right away. Hey, what happened there?
I'm testing out this Sony ZVE1, and it said it overheated on me. That's not good. It's my first time using Sony like this, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Did you not turn on the high temp warning?
It gave me a warning and then shut off.
Well, I mean, there's a setting on that camera. There is a setting on that camera where you can turn on the high temp so it doesn't do that.
I did not.
Yeah.
And Kyle, you even said, "Hey, let me know what your specs are if it's updated, so I can help you out." And I just dove into it. That's on me.
Yeah, the cool thing with Sony's is that you can save all your settings to an SD card and then just email them to yourself or whoever.
What?
So you can save like all your settings on a Sony camera to your SD card, and then you can save them so that way if you ever have a reboot or something,
I did not know
or if you have like a second camera, you can always always add it to a second camera quickly and easily. So
it's focused on your ZVE1.
There we go. All right. Where's the? I don't want to do this live, but like, where's the menu setting?
just for now, just open your battery door or something to help the heat out.
Wait, will it still keep filming? Because Canon will shut off if I open the battery door.
No, you can open the battery door.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Live.
We'll see how long.
Yeah.
Don't buy a ZVE1 if you want to live stream. It dies out.
No. You just have to have the right settings turned. There's a setting that's like turning off the high temp warning sign, and then it just makes it more fluid. So
hopefully this works, because like you can actually see like the strands of my beard hair with this camera. I mean, I'm really liking this camera. And I know we're talking about like entry level gear, but Sony just sent this stuff out. It arrived yesterday, so I'm like on a full on endorphin rush checking this stuff out.
Are you moving to Sony? Is that what you're telling us?
So I'm seriously considering it. I think that for my use cases, I'm looking at like what is the next step for my channel, and I'm thinking based on ecosystem, Sony's going to be the better fit for me. Webcam was a big part of it because I could just, and obviously it does this right in the middle of a live stream. But like with Canon, it's like the resolution to get better webcam out of it is locked behind EOS webcam. You got to pay for better resolution, whereas Sony, it's just plug it in and boom, it's ready to go. And so, anyways, so
well,
I
mean, the cool thing with like we're on the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II right now. You just plug it in and it goes, do you want to turn this to a USB camera? You hit yes, and it just starts shooting. And I think it's 4K 30 is the high setting on this one. So
I think so.
So it looks a little weird in 30 to me because I'm not used to 30.
I'm doing 30 too.
Well, I found out the hard way. I've been using the Canon R8. That's, oh my God. Oh my God! Battery door would not do it.
Well,
you might want to turn that. You might want to turn that high temp setting on.
It will overheat during live stream, apparently.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
You want me to throw you backstage real quick?
Yeah, throw me backstage. That way I don't take away from the conversation.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for a camera around $1,000, that's good for entry level stuff that you can still upgrade to later, like better lenses. Like I'm shooting on the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. I think that's a hell of a camera. I think it has. I mean, it shares the autofocus system now from the like R5, A9, all that stuff. So it's got half of it anyways, because there's an AI chip that goes in the other ones to do trains, planes, bugs, stuff like that. But not often are you shooting bugs and trains. Maybe automobiles if you're doing video content for like racing or something like that, you would want that. But it still has like one of the best autofocus systems in the Sony cameras. I think this is a $1,000 camera.
Okay.
And it's still
Well, that would be the
4K.
next upgrade for that one. And then
Yeah.
after that, I would say if you are capable of doing so and you are actually going above that, what would your entry level lens would be if you go, let's say you're a content creator, you have some dollars on the side and you are capable of picking up a ZVE 10 Mark II? What would
I mean,
lens?
it really depends on, are you pointing the camera at yourself at arm length or not? Or, I mean, my first lens that I keep recommending people a lot of times is the Sigma 18 to 50, just because it's a f2.8 lens. It's pretty versatile with 18 to 50. You can still kind of vlog on it. You definitely do have to go outstretched on that, or have like a vlog handle or something like that. But the 50 is, that's a 75 millimeter focal range for a full frame equivalent. Yep. So you still get some pretty good looks. Otherwise, if you want to spend more money, almost twice as much, there's a 17 to 70 from Tamron. That's wider and more zoomed in. So that's an awesome lens too.
Well, my favorite, if I would have known it beforehand, is the Sigma 70 to 200.
Yeah,
just like that. Because that thing is the bomb. It literally makes anything look cinematic.
Yeah.
Like, it is so smooth. It is so quick in focus. I do all my shoots with it that have close-ups, B-roll, racing. I have guys racing on motorcycles, do wheelies. I follow planes with it if I don't use the 650. You know what I mean? It's this lens in cameras, and it's $1,000 cheaper than the Sony. I had the Sony for 2 weeks. I returned it.
Okay. I have the Sony as well, the 70-200 Mark II, and it took me a good 2 months to take it off my camera because it was so good.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan because I had focus breathing like crazy. Like regardless of the settings that I was doing, it wouldn't do it for me. So I can highly recommend for price point wise the Sigma 70 to 200 for the Sony line. If I would have known what I know now back then, I would have purchased that first. So besides that, I started off for the vlogging with my 16 mil right here.
Yep, Sigma 16 is a good one too. Yeah.
Yep. Sigma 16 is like the best. I think he fixed his stuff. Did you fix his thing?
For now. So I don't know the menu settings on Sony, so I had to do a quick Google search and be like, how do I do this? And I think I figured it out. So
all right.
Yeah, it's under your toolbox under setting 9. It's the power save time, isn't it? No. Power off temp.
Yes.
You just turn to high.
Yes,
yeah.
That's exactly what I did. And I left the battery.
I would still I would say sometimes if you ever have issues with overheating on these things, you can't just open the doors on them. That actually escapes heat a lot pretty quickly. So
that's good to know.
I was shooting this camera though, the ZVE1, down with Florida with Paul. We were doing a lot of slow motion stuff, B-roll. It was 98 degrees. Not one time did I even see the light. So
interesting. Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, the ZVE1 does not have an internal fan. That's why it has trouble displacing heat.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why.
And
they sent out the A7S3, which does.
Yeah, the A7S3 doesn't really. I don't know if that has a fan either.
Okay.
But it just has the space and the right heat sink for it. So the one thing though with the overheating thing is that I think that camera specifically came out with issues, and then they pretty quickly fixed that in the firmware update. They made it have the what does Sony call it? Overall stabilization of the camera or something like that. Okay. That's what they call it.
Nice.
They don't literally say overheating issue. So
one thing, so two things real quick. Is one, I want to mention a piece of gear I think is going to be great for newer creators if they focus on their phone. But real quick, I did not anticipate is the SD card that I would need because I can't even try out 120. I can't try out the highest or the best resolution 4K because I don't have a V90. So I had to order that today, and that's $100 SD card. I was like, dang it, like it's getting expensive.
The CF Express Alpha. I mean the A.
You don't really need a. I mean, I've never used a CF Express. I feel like you can get by with the V90s. I think the only thing you need the CFX Express for is if you're an all intra and you're trying to shoot 4K 120 in S&Q. Otherwise, you won't even need it. So V90 will do it all.
I just picked up two 256s for $270, and they're great. Like I got from
That's not
prior,
bad.
I had the Sony Tufts, which was like 160 gigs each, and they cost me a whole lot.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Blues Clues. Oh,
I just use these. I don't think it'll focus that close. I just use these Lexar 256 V90s.
Uh-huh.
I just got a
I
SanDisk
spot a
one.
couple. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but the second thing I was gonna say, for if we're talking about useful gear for like beginners, Hohem, man, that's where we all kind of stopped by that booth. I did a review on this gimbal the other day. This thing's like $250, and it like. I really like this because if you are using your phone and you don't have the budget to go into like the mirrorless stuff and get into like true camera work, you can get like the Blackmagic Cinema app, use that and use a gimbal like this, and it will like you can really level up your game like that. So if you're trying to stay under $1,000, this is a great way to get into the gimbal space to do that. And this one's just cool because like it has like the extension on there, the removable screen, and then this right here is a AI tracking camera, which I think Kyle, you saw this in person at their booth. This right here mirrors this screen, so you don't have to use an app. It can track you follow mode with the actual gimbal itself and not need to use your phone, which is going to be filming, which is really, really handy. So
I did the same thing for the Insta360 Flow 2 Pro. I got the AI attachment, and that thing totally changed the way of tracking.
Yeah, dude,
I don't have to use the Insta360 app at all.
Well, and Hohem has their MT2, and I think another one coming out for actual mirrorless cameras now that you can use. And so, like, I'm excited to have that for like product videography and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's the MT3, I think, is what it's going to be.
I don't understand that.
I don't know what that question.
It's one of those things where they haven't announced it, but they also showed it at NAB, so it's not a big secret, I don't think, at this point. But yeah, it's.
This question might be a bit off topic, but can you give an opinion on Brave Akashi cams?
I'm not even sure what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
Not sure.
I think we're all off on that one. We don't know.
Oh, it's an action camera that looks like it's really budget friendly. Really budget friendly, actually. They have the Brave 8, which comes in around $166.
I don't know, man. Anything that is like not Insta right now, or Osmo Action, or even GoPro, I don't trust it. I had many of those prior with totally different names, just different bodies, and they were just the same company, just changing the name. And I had no good experience with them at all.
This thing looks just like the Action 5 Pro from DJI. I mean, it looks almost
might be a cheap knockoff then. So the thing about that is they might sometimes say like, oh yeah, it's 4K 30 or 4K 60. And then the problem is the sensor size. They saved on that so bad that the image quality totally is crap. So I can't tell you anything about that, my man. I wish I could. I just don't. So I don't want to throw it out there. I don't want to give you false information.
Yeah, and looking at the price right now, like I understand the interest because of the cost. It's $290 for it alone. Man, honestly, save your bucks, get something name brand. Seriously, because then you have warranties that you're considering. You have like all of these
updates.
Right. I don't know enough about Akaso to see if their Brave 8 is actually their 8th generation camera, and if this is the first time they're introducing an action camera and they're calling it their 8th, it's like that could be a little bit fake marketing.
Yeah.
So now that we got the cameras out of the way, then the most underrated thing that I see most people do, is which they don't consider, are these things.
Oh,
quick release mounts. Quick release mounts. I got these in the beginning of 2019. I got me 15 of these. They were like $10 each at that time. I picked them up and I still have it, and I have not changed them at all, like ever. I have them on literally everything. I even have it on this. And quick release mounts are just, you got to have it so you can put it on your tripods, whatever tripod you have. You're gonna have multiple. That way you can just take it off of this one, put it on the next one. I made my own a little handheld mini tripod so that it can play around with it. Whatever is with one of those single fluid head ball heads, together with a DJI tripod thingy, which is super solid. This whole setup altogether is like $80 altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. You have that, and you have multiple of these quick release mounts. They have plenty of them, if you want to go cheap, you can go newer or small rig. I think newer is actually cheaper than small rig. I think these ones are all newers.
So, well, I do have thoughts on this. I made the mistake of going with Newer's. This, I forget what the size is. It's the square quick release system, and I bought a bunch of these. If you're gonna get a quick release system, make sure it's Arca Swiss, because this is so specific to Newer that I can't, like, you have to buy more of these specifically, and you can't make it work with just any Arca Swiss mount, which is like the industry standard. So if I could redo it all, when I redo it, I'm gonna go Falcom, which is also, I think that works with Arca Swiss. There it is. I knew Kyle had Falcom with it.
These are my best accessory I've ever bought. I'll just say it that way.
What are
I like how small these are. They
Falcom.
they fit in any kind of Arca Swiss plate, so you can make them universal if you already have like a Arca tripod. Plus, they have all their own. They have all their own stuff too, so you can use a camera strap or a gimbal mount, or they have all sorts of different things. But then they also now have these new Pro 38 plates that literally any Arca Swiss can clip into these.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's a. Like, for instance, this is just the Arca bottom part of the Falcom plate, and then this actually can just snap in, and now it's in there. But if I have small rig, which is this one, this is the Tree Root tripod, but they have other plates. Why is this not?
Yeah, Falcom has like a click and a locking system.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm clicking it the wrong way, but yeah. So I always use the Falcom stuff, and then recently they just put out that F38 Pro mount, which takes any Arca Swiss.
I will say, okay, so one thing on Falcom, which, Kyle, you introduced us to them at NAB. For a beginner, it's probably a little pricey, but godly, is it going to last you forever?
For tripods, maybe. these plates are like, what, $30, $20, $30?
Oh, are they really? I thought they were more expensive. Yeah. Well, okay, I will say, so Falcom, it's interesting because whenever I first saw them on, like, I think it was like DSLR video shooter. Caleb did like the full like breakdown of Falcom's ecosystem. It looked like good quality, but until you hold it in person and you feel that solid steel that their ecosystem is, like it. I mean, man, their stuff is good quality. And they gave that lanyard with the mount that I carried my Pocket 3 around on. I was blown away by the quality of that. I mean, that stuff is not going to break. It is. For the price, go Falcom first if it is that cheap, because that's the best.
Yeah,
I did break one, and that's because I had the backpack strap part,
and
I laid it down. I laid it down in sand, and it immediately got sand in it. So I tried taking it apart, and things went every which way you can imagine. The springs but I just messaged them, and they were like, "Just send us back or we'll just send you a new one." And I don't even think they asked for the old one back. So. But I just like these because you can mount these anywhere. They have like a quarter 20 on the bottom or 3/8, and you can just use them as an Arca Swiss plate. But then the actual quick release plate, which I'm surprised I don't have like 10 near me, so just screws to your camera and clip them right in.
Speaking of Falcom, I just got these in like a week ago. I'm really excited to check this out. Do you know what this is?
No. So is that the light?
It's a motorized Bowens lighting mount that comes with a remote, so you can actually like control lights with a remote control. And you can also it can hold, I can't remember the payload capacity, but it can hold actual cameras, so you can do moving camera shots with this as well. This thing is a beast right here. So I'm really excited to check that out.
The way that works too is the hoop part on the top is mounted in like a NATO rail. And you can slide the part on the top, the hoop. That's a NATO rail, so you can actually slide that part out and then mount in a camera off a NATO rail.
Yeah. I am so pumped to check this thing out, man. Like that was probably one of the best companies that we got to meet with, and I appreciate that introduction, Kyle. Seriously, those guys are awesome.
I just like their products. I've been using their stuff for a long time.
What's that, Olo?
I don't get sent anything to me,
ma'am. You just ask. You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
I did. I've actually no answers back. I asked all the people who told me to contact them after NAB. None of them answered me at all.
So you know what I started doing? I started taking selfies with vendors because they see so many thousands of people. I was like, I'm gonna make sure they remember me, and I started sending them the selfie with me, and I'm like, hey, remember me? And it just adds this little extra, like, hey, you're not
getting. It's kind of hard to not remember the Sasquatch walking over there and talking.
Well,
Sorry, we don't. You know, it's like he's
I
talking up there. You know, he's 7 feet tall. So,
I do have that working in my favor. Yeah, being 6'10" helps with that. So
you are going to be the spokesperson for that 7-foot tripod they have too.
They're going to send it out, and I am so excited to check that thing out, dude. And partly because I need something that I can easily throw a slider on and move around. And that's what I really want to check out, that Tribex tripod by Small Rig, that potato jet tripod. I really want that for that reason, but honestly,
the one speed.
Yeah. You just drop and lower it up and down. Like for me,
I've seen it, and I had a friend of mine who had it. He actually, I think he sent it back.
Really?
The problem was, he took it out. They went to Utah. They filmed something in the desert. The problem was that the links that are inside the arms caught dust or sand. As soon as they did, that system was not working anymore.
I wonder if that's the original version.
Okay. That's why they stopped shipping them for a while too, is because they had to go back and redesign some stuff. Supposedly it's fixed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Another important thing that people keep forgetting about, besides that, once you have the quick release mounts, are these things. Articulated arms, brah.
Yeah.
You need those. Like, literally, you need at least 2 or 3 of them. Like, I use this stuff for all kinds of stuff. I have a magnetic mount on top for my Insta360 and for my Osmo Action 3, so I can just clip those in.
That magnetic mount, I want to see one big enough to come to mirrorless cameras, because I love that. That quick magnetic release is amazing.
Yeah, I like it too. It's just I don't know if I would put a DSLR or mirrorless on that thing.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be pretty robust if I'm going to put that on there.
Because that's like, whoa. So yeah,
I'm guessing
if you can find some. They're cheap too. This one was sent to me by. I did get something sent to me. It was a triple tech for hold the tablet at the time when I was flying my drone. So I have been using this ever since, which has been 3 years, 4 years. So it's really, really robust and really solid. I can't even bend this. Yeah, I can't bend this. After you tighten it up, it's really, really good. Articulated arms, anything that makes it where you can put your camera wherever you want to put it. Like, it's important as a content creator, because sometimes that's why I built this. That's why I built this thing, because I can just set it on the table and then mark, I want this like that. Boom.
Yeah.
It's like that, right? And it's looking at me, and I can do whatever I like with them. Straighten it out. Boom, done. You know what I mean? Just like that. It's super easy to have one like this that you make yourself with one fluid head, ball head. You put your quick release plate on top, and then you have the DJI. Well, this one is the DJI. I had other ones before. They were non-DJI, and to be honest, they sucked.
DJI makes a really good folding.
Broke my foot off, and my FX3 would fall over together with my 200 by 600.
DJI makes a surprisingly good quarter-inch like folding like little tripod legs. I love them.
They do.
Yeah.
They're really good. DJI is like, damn. I used to be a big opposer of DJI for a long time. Just letting you guys know.
Why?
I just always was like the person who wants to swim against the grain. At that time, it was like the Mavic Pro or the Mavic and the Spark era, you know, and DJI I wasn't as affiliated as much with camera gear with DJI yet, and it just was too much. Too many people had it. And I wanted to have something else. So that's why I went back then with the Insta360 because it just came out. And it was like the direct opposer to GoPro. And then the same with the drones. I went with the Autel instead of the DJI because they didn't have the geofencing. And then now that DJI dropped the geofencing, the whole freaking level field the playing field is totally, they leveled everything. They cleaned out everybody.
Yeah.
They are monopoly right now. So, I mean, look at it. Mavic 4 Pro dropped. Not in the United States, and we're all suffering like big time.
Well, and I'm not a fan of a monopoly if the products suck, but DJI's got some really good stuff, man.
Yeah, nowadays, I like their stuff. Like looking at the camera gear, looking at their accessories, what gets me with DJI is their ecosystem.
Yeah.
What I hate the most about DJI, anytime they bring out a new product, it's a new battery system. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Now I got to pick up new batteries. I just picked up, you know what I mean? Like Sony kept it with the NPFs or NPFZs, you know. Canon kept it with their stuff. Like, why? Like, I mean,
no, it's a fair criticism. It really is. I don't like that's the drawbacks to a monopoly is like kind of like, you know, like with Apple. If you want a new Apple product and you got to completely buy an entirely new device to upgrade one small thing, and it's frustrating. I get it.
Yeah, but other than that, the ecosystem of DJI in my eyes right now is unbeatable. You know, they have, I don't know who they have working for them in the developmental part, but it's really intuitive for newcomers to start off with DJI. It's very easy to use, and it's very, they pay attention to what people ask for. If you ask, you know,
you can scale with them.
In the past, they had not done that, but nowadays, dude, like, if you pick this up, you can use it here. You know, I mean, look at the DJI Mic 2. It was released, and 6 months later, Osmo 3 came out, and they had one with that too, and it's compatible, even though the Bluetooth sucks. It's still great because the DJI Mic has 32-bit float internal recording for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know, which brings me to the next thing, audio. Audio.
Just before you get too far, though, before you get too far on that, on those articulated or the magic arms and stuff, there's another brand that's Ulanzi that has one that has a clamp on one side, and it's the way a lot of those have clamps, but you have to screw in to them. That one's like already built into it, so it's not going to like spin and rotate off. That's what I like it. I actually use mine. I got a bunch in my ceiling, which you can't see, and that's like holding different things up because it's like a 1/4-20 on one side and then a clamp on the other. I find those are really useful too because if you're out like vlogging or something, you can just clamp it to like a road sign or a light post or whatever the heck you have. So I use them literally for. I got them all over my ceiling, holding up lights and things like that. So. Or cameras and top mounts.
She has pre-ordered the RC2 Pro controller to use with her Air 3S. I didn't know they were compatible, but that's freaking amazing.
I didn't either. Usually they're not. So
wasn't the controller like $1,300?
Yeah. Holy crap! Yeah, it is. Wait, does it come with its own screen? It has to.
Yeah, it does. It has a 7-inch screen. It's foldable, folded in. It's all attached to the controller. You don't have to take. You know how you take off the sticks.
Yeah,
they fold in now. So when you put the screen down like this, they fold inwards. So that's a new thing with DJI too. You know, it's like wow.
It has HDMI output too. Wow.
Yeah, it does. So
wait,
you can.
So bought that with the Air 3. Oh, Air 3S. For some reason, I thought it said Mini. I was like, there's no way that they would do that with the older gen. Okay, that's awesome though.
The Air 3S. So
that's a great.
I'm hoping that I get my creator combo. I ordered it. Like I said, I paid $5,000 for it. So I hope they're gonna do it.
Do you have your license, Alo?
Yes, I do. My Part 107.
I need to get that.
Yeah, I do. It's actually it took me a while to get it, and then once I got it, I used it a lot. Can I fly here, please?
When I know that you have to have the stronger drones because of the winds in Hawaii, I know that like you're constantly fighting that for a steady shot. For me, I don't have a drone that weighs over 250 grams. I like being able to just literally fly under the radar.
I used to fly the Mini 3 Pro. The problem for me was the overheating part. I got the Mini 4 Pro from a friend of mine for just try out, and he wanted me to actually do a review on it, but because I didn't purchase it myself and I couldn't hold it long enough, I didn't do the review on it. It still was good. I only have heavy winds when it's a little bit more stormy, or if I go higher up in elevation, if I go like to the volcano and stuff. I almost dropped my Autel Evo 2 Pro the other day because I flew it from outside of the national park just to go up. And as soon as I reached like the 400-foot mark, there was like 85 miles per hour winds because of the volcano and
that'll tighten the sphincter.
the 6,000 foot elevation, and my drone just took off and I was like, where's it going?
Mine, I can't fly above 400 feet, so I would love to see
it ended up going past the jet stream, and then it came back down, but I was down to like 25%. So I literally just looked down where I'm at, jumped in the car, drove down there, and just picked it up from there.
Man. See, that's why I haven't gone too far down the drone rabbit hole, because like the loss is expensive. That's rough.
Oh, it's 879 pounds. Is that pounds in the UK?
Yeah.
It's also comparable I think it's
comparable
compliant with compatible with the Mini 4 Pro.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I think that's the one that
Isn't
I have.
the 5 supposed to come out in July?
They're due. Usually it's a 2-year cycle for the minis.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the United States either.
Who knows, man?
You want to know what my current drone setup is? Let me just open it up here. Well, let's just bring it up.
Hi, what is that? Holy Stone?
This is the original Air.
Nice.
Oh, real? Show it again.
Still the Maverick Air 1.
Oh wow!
Wow.
It still works.
Yes,
but I also don't use a lot of drone footage because I don't have my 107 and I don't want to get into that realm of getting in trouble with stuff.
You know what my sub 250 is? Look at this sucker.
Oh, you got the Costco bundle, right?
Still the original, brah.
Is that the Costco bundle?
Mavic Mini, yes, sir. That was the first time I've ever purchased a DJI product.
Costco came out with that little bubble for it. This is one that I'm going to be reviewing pretty soon. I actually met them at CES, and this is the. Have you seen this? The Hover Air little fold-out pocket drone. Like these things are cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it just throws it in your pocket. It films 8K, obviously tiny sensor 8K, right? But anyways, yeah, I'm really excited to check this out. I've actually had it for a while. Now the thing is, you got to be a fan of follow drones. I think this one did come with the remote that they sent me.
Is that similar to the Skydio kind of thing?
The which one?
The Skydio.
I don't know.
Yeah, Skydio had that autonomous drone that would follow you all over. It had like one of the best tracking.
Yes. However, this thing, first time I've used it. Now, obviously, they send you a sample of this little mesh on the outside. You cannot tear this with your hands. Like this is super strong stuff. And I realized why they had to do that is because this thing's obstacle avoidance is not good. And that's one thing I got to mention in my video. I had it following me, and it was just like bumping into walls as I went around corners. Like it could not figure out how to follow me outside of a straight line. Other than that, it's all gesture controlled, which is really nice. Kind of like DJI's. They came out with the Neo, which I also have.
Yeah,
which is the Neo.
Yeah, I hated that thing.
I was actually going to review
it. I tried it and I crashed it like 10 times, and I was like, I'm freaking over this damn thing. I got rid of it and returned it, and I picked up the DJI Flip.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I was trying to get DJI to send me out the Flip, and that's what I told Hover Air. I was like, hey, I'm going to get the Flip from DJI to compare, and DJI's like, we're not going to send that to you yet. So now I'm like,
I bought the Flip, and I was actually positively surprised by the Flip together with that duck that they had and stuff. It was really good. Anyhow, let's get back to audio.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
what do you guys use for audio? Like, let's say content creator, you first start, besides that your cell phone, okay, now you upgraded to a Mirrorless, be sub 2000. What is your go-to audio?
For me, I've been using the Rode NTG for like 4 years now. It was like $220 whenever I bought it. That still has done well for all of my talking heads. Anything I do where I'm on the move, DJI Mic 2. And I've only had that one for about maybe a month now, actually. I love the Mic 2 system. It's expensive, but it's really, really good. And Hollyland is an up-and-coming company that's going to be sending out one of their new mic systems that I'm looking forward to checking out. But Rode is my go-to for shotguns.
Yeah, for shotgun, I use the NTG as well. On all the Sony cameras now, though, I've been using the ECM B1M or the M1, depending on what kind of content I'm doing that day. The B1M is the better mic. The M1 is more versatile. So if you're doing like behind the camera and front of the camera, you can change all the different settings on the back. So I just like that you plug them into the camera and they're all auto. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to look at the volume settings. It's just kind of like this same system that came on the like handle from the FX3.
Oh yeah,
K3M.
Is it an XLR mic?
They're little shotgun mics. I can let me see if I can take it off and put it back on. But I'll show you one sec. Yep. So this is the B1M or the M1.
Oh, hang on. Let me blow you up here.
Yeah, Sony sent that out to check out.
Oh, okay. So now you see on regular audio, your camera audio, right?
Yeah, right now it's camera. So it has like a dial on the back that you can change, like what facing it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Sony
plug it in and then it just works. It just turns to auto.
Yeah, it did.
Because it has the hot shoe. So this is what Sony actually sent out for me to check out and review. It's very similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the B1M. That's the better sounding one. It's just a little bigger.
So. Oh, sorry. Here it is. So this is, look at autofocus. It's so fast. This is the B1 that they sent out for me to check out alongside the other cameras. So I'm not a big fan of little chode mics, and the reason I say that is because I like a dedicated mic. However, I've had my mic die on me in the middle of a 30-minute talking head enough times times that on my second angle, I use this. This is a little Movo $50 shotgun mic. It's meant for either phone or actual like camera, and it's powered by the camera itself, which is important to me because I have, like I said, I've literally sat down on my computer, realized I have no audio, and so I just plugged this into my secondary one, and I'm like, you know what? Final Cut's voice isolation is good enough nowadays that if I need to use my backup audio, I can get away with it and not lose the whole video, because I hate re-recording a whole talking head.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the Sony mics are expensive. I think the B1M sounds very similar to the NTG as far as being further away. Then it starts to break off, obviously, because that has a longer.
Sure.
But sound wise, it's just as good, and I like that you don't have to ever touch it. It's an automatic noise gate, so it just levels the audio for you. It's really hard to not want something you just literally plug it in and that's it. It's good to go. They are expensive, but
one that I used to use with the Rode Micro. It was like really tiny.
Yeah.
It has the dead cat on top. It's over there. I could grab it probably.
The Rode, I think if you're looking at budget, the Rode Go 2 is probably the best one. It's like a $99 mic. It sounds similar to the NTG. It has a lot of the same construction as the NTG, but it's smaller and it fits very nicely on top.
And make sure you get an extra long auxiliary cable. That way you're not trying to, because when I started YouTube, I was shooting with a shotgun mic from like 15 feet away, and I thought, oh, it's pointed at me, this is going to be good enough. No 12 inches away from your mouth if you can do it.
Yeah, pretty much, because these things are tiny. They're like comments not coming on.
That dead cat's bigger than the mic, like entire mic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's the standard. That's the standard Rode Go. It's a beast of a mic. A lot of people use that one.
I used it at first until I upgraded to the DJI Mic 2, which is an amazing setup.
Yeah, I love that.
I have no problem using this sucker. I use it all the time. What I love most about it is the 32-bit float internal recording. So you have that plus whatever camera you record to. Currently, I have the DJI Mic Mini set up in there because you can plug this straight into my multicam system with the dock.
Love that receiver.
This is the Mic Mini, which is perfect for content creators to start with. Unfortunately, there's only one microphone in there right now because I'm using the other for this live stream. And this is like tiny. I keep losing these things too. It's like they're so small that I keep losing them.
And like, it's the little things about those DJI systems that I appreciate, like the little magnetic thing that goes behind the clip, so you can either clip it or magnetize it to your shirt, like that. Yeah. It's those little things that DJI does that I really appreciate. And for instance, like when you talk about the ecosystem, I don't want to come across as a fanboy. DJI has really grown on me.
Oh, I am a fanboy nowadays. Like, what the fuck they do, well, I don't care.
And like you, I don't like buying things that are overly popular. I like to see and I'm the same way. Like when I watch professional athletes, I don't immediately buy into the hype. I like to, I don't know why I'm like that, but anyways, the ecosystem's nice because, like, for instance, you could use the DJI Fly app and record audio from that mic while you're talking over what you're seeing. So like if you're doing a real estate shoot, you can either record notes for yourself or an actual walkthrough and just add the audio to the flyover later and chop it up. I mean, it's insane how well the ecosystem functions.
And DJI also, to bring back the hot shoe thing, does have the adapter where you can literally put this on your camera.
Oh yeah,
and then you can just.
I gotta get right in. Hang on, can you show that off one more time?
I need that.
It's not an auto function. I don't know why this lens is not.
There you
great
go
for close.
Oh,
so it's not. So cool. It's not a. It doesn't do auto levels, but it does have in the menu like the camera model. So you can say I'm on the A7S3 and it'll just go to around the volume it thinks you should be at.
Oh, that's only $50 too. That's not bad at all.
It used to be 35.
Damn,
so there was one.
And then if you go find the Insta360 Go magnet mount,
that's cool.
You can literally. This is all. I don't like using the magnets, so I just do this quickly, throw it under the shirt, and then I don't know if I have my mic near me.
Oh man, that's a game changer for the hot shoe.
Yeah, I mean,
but then when you do this, you can just like
a lot of mics that are really, really affordable for starting content creators.
Love that.
Cool, my go-to though, I mean, the DJI Mic 2 or the DJI Mic Mini, it helped me in a pinch. We lost our professional audio because there was a camera team around that had like the frequencies. They were smashing everybody with it, and I ended up using the DJI Mic Mini for an international interview live. That worked perfectly. Where I used the two, one for the interviewer, the other one for the subject, and bruh, it was an international broadcast that had DJI on his shirt. And all of that because the camera team that was there for the event,
well,
I don't know what they did, but they broadcasted so many frequencies that none of their microphones was working.
Interesting. Well, you know what the thing
crazy.
Is? Like, if you can't really snub budget audio anymore because like the editing of audio is getting so much better. Like what it's able to pull out of, like Final Cut's most recent update, the voice isolation is superb. The room echo cancellation, like you really don't have to like have thousands of dollars worth of mics. Now, if Cozy was on here, he would disagree with me, I think, because he's an audiophile. He likes that real high quality audio, and he knows a lot more than I do. But
well, I picked up an MKE 600 just for like the super close when I do like unboxings and stuff. I want that crisp right now sound. I tried to do it with I tried to do it with the DJI too and stuff. It just wouldn't work that way.
Sure.
Because once you point that MKE 600 and you listen to it, I don't even have to do any adjustments post unless I just want the equalizer there with the 4 channels and just do my thing. You know what I mean? But other than that freaking MKE 600 was like, but I mean, the thing is what, $400, $500?
Wow.
I mean, so,
yeah.
I would say in your editing station, though, you do have the capabilities of saving like any audio chains you have. So I literally on my Final Cut, I have like DJI Mic 2, Talking Head, Studio Mic.
Oh, like
I have all those things. So I can literally just go pop it on there, and it'll automatically add my compression, my EQ.
Realized how important it is. After going through the NAB, I kept hearing it over and over. Was Timecode, and I was like thinking to myself, I don't need Timecode. I'm a freaking YouTube content creator. You know what I mean? Just the other day, I was given footage from someone else for edit, so I could edit their stuff, and it was time coded. I'm a freaking timecode freak now. It's like, dude, you need this timecode because you know exactly this is where it happened. So if you are missing out on this recording and then you have the audio, but it starts at 3 hours, 32 seconds, and 50, you know that's where the scene is at. So you look at for the video footage, which is time coded too, and you're like, this is so much easier.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, like, I want to, every time we talk about something, let's bring it back to what's great for someone just starting out doing things on a budget. Lighting and audio are your 2 biggest things you need to focus on when you start. Because, like, you can take your phone camera and get really good quality results if you know what you're doing with lighting and audio. Like that, like before you buy a camera, I would say. So, I love talking about gear.
I mean, and you can just go with, I mean, my first half a year or like 6-7 months of my YouTube channel, I was using the Rode video mic, which is a $60 mic, on a boom with like a 7-foot extension cable plugged into my camera. So as long as you can get that thing close to you, that's the thing, is even cheap mics sound great. I do think the Go 2 does sound better than all the other budget ones, personally myself, but that's only like $99 for that mic.
Okay.
Which still works great for shotgun. I finally bought one of those, hot shoe mics, and it's hard to want to turn back now on that. But
well,
I'll
be getting this adapter, no doubt about it. One thing I've like, 2020 was such a cornerstone year for content creation tech to just blow up and get really, really good, because that's when I started YouTube. A lot of people, because of the pandemic, started getting into creating videos. They ain't got nothing else to do. And then all of a sudden, like, that's when DJI came out with their Mini, and they had a foldable drone. It's like all these innovations happened in 2020 that, like, in the last 5 years, if you look at how it's just crazy the quality of gear you can get for the money versus like 5 years ago.
Well, look at the NAB show. The NAB show used to be just for broadcasters, TV, and all that stuff. Look at it now. It's been taken over, I would say 40, 45, 50% almost by content creators. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at camera gear, audio, lighting, all that stuff is ran by content creators that are big these days. You know what I mean?
That's one of the, you're asking me earlier, although I'm considering switching to Sony, that's one of the reasons. This ZDE1 that I'm testing out right now, it's the first time I've dealt with a camera who they're like, this is made for people who are doing strictly videography, and here's what they're going to need from it, because everything else has been hybrid up until this point. And so, like, I appreciate that. I really value a company who's like taking care of a niche of people that is growing dramatically, and there's a much larger population than there are available equipment for like video dedicated folks. You know, it's all about
I mean, when I started my journey was influenced because of Peter Lindgren. Peter Lindgren just literally, I watched him prior for like a year. He had like 10,000 subscribers at that time. He was still recording in his little studio at home, like, which was his parlor, his living room. Right after that, he blew up, and when he blew up is when I started. But I became a Sony shooter because of him. The problem that I had at that time was Sony wasn't as established glass wise. Now, over the last 6 years, companies like Sigma, Sony, Suri, all those guys have been pushing in, and they have been creating glass for cameras that is insanely good, like really good. And back then, it was Canon who was all up there. They had so much cheap glass. It was crazy. And I was like, oh, I could get all these used gear for one camera.
It's funny that you say that, because that's the reason that I went Canon, is because there were so many third-party options for the EF mount, and now that they've locked down the RF mount so hard, that's one of the big reasons why I want to leave as well, because I'd like to have more glass, but I don't want to, like, for me, like I have the R8, it doesn't have IBS. I have to have RF mount lenses specifically to do that. So even if they did, like, they've done some things with Sigma since then, not very much. And it's like, I don't like being painted into a corner like that, and I want options. And so, yeah. Anyway.
And even then, Sony like lenses, but for themselves, are still almost half the price sometimes as some of those Canon glass. So so if you want a G Master, you could still get that at a better price than like what is that, 16 to 35? How much does that one cost for the RF mount? Like
price 2,000 plus, maybe more.
Yeah, 2,500. It's like. Yeah, I mean the new G Master one it's up there too, but it's. I remember someone saying, oh no, maybe it's a 15 to 35 or something, isn't it? Some weird one. I remember that being like
about.
That's like a $3,000 lens, so it's
well,
even comparable, and then you can still get Tamron, Sigma, all Viltrox, all these other companies, which makes it way more appealing to people who don't want to spend that kind of money. So.
The first time I got frustrated with Canon's glass lineup was about 2.5 years ago. I think is whenever that Tamron, it was 35 to 150, 2 to 2.8 came out, and I just wanted that lens so bad, and I was like, I'll never have anything in an RF mount that'll cost for that specific. If they ever make anything like that, it's going to be $3,000-$4,000. Like, I'll never have that. But for Tamron, you can get it for like $1,500, and I was just so jealous.
That's actually the lens. That's the lens I actually went down to Sweden with Peter to go film a bunch of stuff with.
Man.
And even he was like, when he took the lens, he was like, ugh. It's like that thing is a tank.
Yeah.
It's a great lens, but it's heavy. You gotta be dedicated to use that sucker.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and for me, I don't need it. I'm in a static studio environment. I rarely leave this place. It's all product stuff, so I don't need that.
Until you come here.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, man. I will. And like, I have a feeling that trip is going to completely change how I look at gear. Like, seriously, because everything I do is in a controlled, lit environment, and there's so much for me to learn. I mean, both of you guys, y'all are both out there filming amazing things. Yeah, my stuff's on the table.
I have
what's
this bad boy right here.
Golly.
This is my go-to. Take it everywhere. There's my 200 by 600 in there. I carry all my batteries in there, my screen, my FX3, my A7 III, my A6400. I have a drone in there. I have that freaking tripod, and I need that because I sometimes have to walk like 2.5 miles through the boonies, and you can't do that. I mean, the backpack itself weighs like, this thing right now weighs about 100 pounds.
Golly.
So
yeah, when I got that, I have that like big McKinnon bag, and that thing, when you load all the way up, it gets up there in weight.
I have that
pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it makes you regret filling it up that much. That's what I don't like about that bag, is that you can't just use that as like an everyday bag.
Based on need and what I do it for. So I picked up the 200 by 600 because I needed it for sports photography, and then I picked up this one, the 70 to 200, because I needed it for sports videography. and I needed that super quick autofocus that stays with the subject, unlike my Sony that I had, which was the first generation though. It wasn't the G2.
Yeah, the G2 is much better.
Yeah, so and that one, I mean, it was $2,000 at that time, and I picked it up, and I was like, "This is not cutting it." I filmed a rugby game, and I couldn't stay on focus on one person. It just would breathe in and out constantly while he was running. Then I picked this one up for $1,400, and I have no problem filming that. And the freaking sports teams are ecstatic about it. They love it. It looks like TV. You know what I mean?
That shot you sent in the Discord the other day of you shooting lava, I've seen your work, right? And it looks like you're right up in that lava. And then when you sent that video of how far away you actually are from that, I was like, damn, like that's
the closest I can get is usually about 1/8 of a mile.
It looked like a quarter.
That's the closest I can get. The one that I shot you guys in the Discord is where I usually hang out and where I take all my friends and stuff. It's 1.4 miles away.
Wow.
But because the lava shoots at like 1,000 feet sometimes, between 500 to 1,000 feet, it looks huge. Yeah. And when I have 200 by 600 and I zoom in, it looks like I'm literally right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the key part to it.
And the other thing, we're not seeing the perspective of how big something next to it is. So it's probably a lot bigger than we actually
I'm actually working
at.
on that video right now because I was able to. So the scientists were on the top of that rim this time with their car, and they parked on the top, and I filmed them, and I did not change my focus at all. Neither did I change my zoom level. And then I went back down, and I filmed the bottom part of the volcano. So now that I have both of those shots, I can actually use that car, cut it off, put it in the bottom, and show people in perspective how big that thing actually is.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Do you have one of the boosters for the Sony, like the Sony?
The teleconverter,
teleconverter, yeah.
No, it's $600. It's a 1.4. I haven't gotten around it to pick it up yet. I have to get past the boss to buy certain things, and it has to be a need.
To me, it's I would want to rent it first just to see if it's something that I would actually want to buy.
That's the bad part. I can't rent it here. It's the Big Island. It's like third world country. There's like no Photoshops here. There's no camera gear, whatever. I have to fly over to Oahu, if anything, rent it there, fly back. By that time, I spend for the round trip $250. Go over there, rent a car, get to that place. I'm $600 in.
You can't go to like lensrentals.com or anything like that.
They don't ship to Hawaii.
You need to start your own lens rental place on the Big Island, man.
I was considering it. The problem is you have to have the starting capital, which is usually about $150K, and then you buy like 10 fucking 70 by 200s and 10 200 by 600s. And to be honest, there's a lot of photographers on these islands that can interchange with each other, where they rent it from each other. Instead of paying for it, you know what I mean? And then the bad part is too, what if they bring it back, I didn't check it properly, and then it's broken, or if the next customer said, oh, I got it broken, whatever. It's always these stories, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can't have insurance for it, but it's expensive, and you gotta. Over here, it's like on the Big Island, I tell many people it's so far behind with everything. I can't do that. It's just not feasible, you know what I mean? And plus, people don't really have the money for it. I mean, over here, it's hard to get a real estate shot above $250.
Right. I wonder how many people would love, like, but I'm sure there's people that would like to be able to fly to Hawaii and not bring all their gear and have things that they can grab while there.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few, but plenty guys that I've met, YouTubers that come here, they come with a minimum setup like this. They bring this because it fits in their bag, or it's in their backpack, or they have the awesome part. I mean, these days things get a whole lot smaller too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. I wanted to ask you also about that lava shot. That was it a night shot, or was that like a kind of a dusk shot, and you just had to change the exposure so it looked really, really dark? Like, how do you adjust for that with lava?
Okay, so for the lava part, it is the best time to shoot it is early mornings when the sun rises, because when the sun shoots through the lava, it comes really bright orange. That is because the rust particles, the iron that is within the lava that shoots out, it makes it look orange. If it's nighttime, I don't even need an ND filter. I just crank down my ISO to 100, and then I just play around with the aperture. But because I'm so far in, and it's literally, it lights up everything. Like that lava is so bright that it lights up everything. Yeah. I love the daytime shots though, because the daytime shots show you a whole lot more.
Yeah.
because you have the scenery in the background and stuff. Lava wise, you don't have to adjust much. I don't have ND filters on my cameras at all. It's all straight out of camera, and I don't do log shooting at all. I don't color grade it at all. I just go straight through. The only thing that I do is I slightly increase the contrast and I slightly change the temperature to what I see it at during the time, because when you film it, there's like a blue haze. To get rid of that, I do it in post, usually with contrast and temperature change, and then that blue haze disappears and you see the bright details of everything. The main part is that you go in manual focus and you stay on it. You know what I mean? And then that's when you go focus assist. You do the magnifier. You look at your screen. I have a 7-inch screen from Fieldwork that I use, so I can see the detail on the magnifier. Yeah. And I just keep it that way and done, and just film. I'm working right now on a 24-hour video that is going to go live on a live stream where it just keeps going with the original sound and stuff, because I have filmed so many hours of that stuff over the last several months that I have like 40 terabyte of footage.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. All filmed in 4K, 422 10-bit. It's amazing just the way it looks.
I can't wait to see that.
Bruh, it's crazy how well lit it is sometimes. And plus, it's some eruptions are daytime, some eruptions are nighttime, some start at nighttime, go into daytime, some start at daytime, go into nighttime. You have so many different ones, but a lucky thing, I catalog them all well and have them in folders, so it's all within that video, and then I just put it up. And that brings me to the next one, live streaming software. What is your guys' preferred live streaming software?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We've used a whole bunch. I like Streamyard when it's convenient. The one that worked well for our streams that we did was Restream, but I hated that you were limited on your HD unless you paid like crazy amounts of money for it. It would never go 4K. But I don't know if you remember our Creator Camp one. Yep. It was supposed to be kind of 80s and vintage and tracking, and it wasn't supposed to always look perfect. But when you did talk about something and then you wanted it to actually look good, then it was kind of a downfall that it wasn't in like 4K or something. Yeah. But I liked that one because you could store a bunch of photos, a bunch of video files, and then you could just click on them and it would take over the screen and play them, and it had some really cool features in that regard. And then I think Paul and I now are using Ecamm.
Just because that's Apple related.
Doc Rock, whatever, gave us like a free license to it. So I haven't really used it yet to know exactly what you can and can't use with it, but it is Mac only, I think. So
yeah, it's Apple. Yeah, because I was looking at it the other day and said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna try Ecamm too because Kofi has it and everybody else has it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll give that a try too." And I looked at it and said, "Oh, it's Mac only." Yeah, great. I don't have any Apple products at all because I hate those guys.
Yeah, I this is gonna be where I have the least amount of knowledge. I'm still just an OBS guy. Slap stream elements on it if I want to have an overlay or something like that. Simple. I just don't do enough live streaming to know enough of the platforms.
Yeah, so OBS, I used to be a huge opposer of it because I freaking hated it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing until I needed it. And that was just recently, like about a month ago. Yeah. And I'm actually using it these days in order not to have to spend $50 a freaking month for StreamYard, which kind of pissed me off because they used to have the $29.99 a month, which was the 1080p streaming and all that stuff, no problem. And then I came across OBS again. I was like, oh my God, these guys again. So I actually looked it up on Reddit and I read about it and I did a couple of the functions, looked at the settings. I actually like it. It's actually pretty good and it's very reliable. Once you get the bitrate down and you put the keyframe interval the right way and all that stuff, you get perfect 1080p without having to pay $50 a month. That's the thing. The only thing that you don't have, like you have with StreamYard and stuff, is like, for an example, banners, media assets, changing in between certain things or bringing people in like this. It's like super easy. You bring them in behind studio, they come in and you pop them in. You can do solo layouts and stuff. With with OBS, it's a little bit more complicated. You have to be a little bit more on the studio part. So it's easier if you would actually have a second person who would run all that. Yeah. And then plus you need a lot of screens with OBS because most of them is screen capture. Yeah. You know, like if you want to show off certain things, it's all screen capture. Oh, I'm capturing this screen because I'm running full screen, my media player on it, but it still shows everything. So I ran the other night just for the test. I ran a 12 yeah, 12-hour stream. I started at 9 a.m. I went all the way to 6 a.m. 9 p.m. I let it run all night, all the way until 6 a.m. And I had a 6-hour video that I created from my lava stuff that I just randomly threw clips in and just rendered it into 4K and let it run on that one screen captured it in 4K, I mean in 1080p, and let it stream with the overlay.
Nice.
And that was it.
Nice. Yeah, I used it recently. All the way. I used it recently for some AR glasses that I was testing, where I was I could do like a green screen behind the windows that I was using in the glasses, and then I just put a like an action camera on my forehead, and I just luma keyed that out and made that like look like I was moving around. So, but for live stream purposes, yeah, I just very bare bones. If I need to get online in front of people just to talk, that's what I will use. Yeah.
Yeah. So
speaking of long,
StreamYard is good. Restream, Restream is actually similar to StreamYard, isn't it?
If you want 1080, it's expensive.
Oh, okay.
We settled with 720 because we figured our footage was supposed to look kind of like from the 1990s. I mean, we had like a vibe with a look for that stream, so I didn't really care. Now, when you're trying to do like, I did try to use our Restream before to do. I did like a editing your photos thing where people would send me their photos. I edited them to show kind of how I did it. And I didn't realize until I looked back at the footage, I was like, that looks so bad. Like, I can't do editing your photos in 720p because it just doesn't look good.
Right.
It makes your photo. It's like, how do you showcase photography looking good in that kind of quality?
720. So,
yeah.
Like even on 1080, 720, 1080 would be great if the majority of your audience would be, I guess, on a cell phone. You know,
and you'll see like the color tones and changing photos, but when you're trying to be like, look how sharp this got, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's not going to work that way.
Exactly, yeah. Right. So some things just didn't work for it, but when we were trying to do I don't know, it was a very unique style that we did, so it was fine going to low quality.
All right.
And then I think we paid like $14 a month for that, but I think when we went to 1080, I believe it was like $47, $49 a month, which is just too much for me.
Yeah, right now it's
using it all the time.
$50 for streamer, $50 a month for the 1080p, and having 10 people on the stream and all that stuff. I just love it because I have all my assets on it already. So if I do need StreamYard, I'll just pay for it for the $50. Then I cancel it that very same moment. I cancel the subscription. You know, I'll stick with it. That I don't get nailed for it another $50 a month. And then when I need it again, then I'll just resubscribe. You know what I mean? So, other than that, I would say OBS is like your best free version as a
content creator. For sure.
It's really good. You just got to get into it a little bit, and it's super easy. You can screen capture anything. You can even I think I tried to hook up my phone too. You can use your phone as a webcam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's with the USB-C, and then you just plug it into your computer, and then do you want to use your phone as a camera? Like, yeah, sure.
You can run live chat through it and everything. Yeah, it's got everything you could need, at least from a foundation standpoint.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just a little bit more on where you have to do the work in order to make it look really good, you know. And then you got to know a little bit about Photoshop, create your PNGs that you have your overlay and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and
Canva has a lot of like live stream templates and stuff too, which is nice.
Yeah. So my final question to all of you guys is, if there's one thing gear-wise, if you would have known back then what you know now, what would it have been that you would have started with?
And this is filming, or is this more in general, or post-production?
Whatever you do right now. Let's say you do videography. What would you have started with? The one thing that you nowadays like, oh my God, I wish I would have that back then.
This might sound like a dumb answer. The Photoshop Lightroom bundle.
Is that monthly or is that a one-time deal?
It's monthly. I pay like $10 a month for it. You get Photoshop and Lightroom, and Lightroom Classic. I think it's just being able to edit all your thumbnails. For me, I do a lot of photography stuff too. So like obviously for photography, I need it. But
wait,
I like that
you can subscribe for Adobe just for Photoshop and Lightroom for $10 a month.
Yep. Yeah. At least that's when I got it. So it's been like that since I've got it. So I don't know if it's more expensive and I just got a sale price or something. But
I am still running on a ripped version of CS5.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just I don't even think twice about it. It just comes out of your page, your
Yeah.
direct deposit. So, being able to nail your thumbnails, I think, is a huge thing.
Yeah.
You can still use Canva. You can use all these other programs. You can use AI, but I like that you can make your own style and you stick with it. And I do that for maybe a year, and then I'll kind of change it up again for the next year. But just being able to jump back and forth between them, because sometimes you can, while you're in Lightroom, you can say edit in Photoshop. You can go there, and then when you close it, it goes back to Lightroom. So there's a lot of.
Really got me into Lightroom. I still have to look into that. I don't.
Yeah.
Think is it that hard to learn?
No, it's pretty
Lightroom.
simple.
Photoshop has a lot of layers to it. Lightroom is that. So I used to use Premiere Pro and I had the Adobe Suite when I started. And Lightroom is the one thing that I miss the most. I mean, it's actually pretty intuitive considering how much it can do. Man, it can pull some things even out of just a regular picture that you'd be really surprised at, especially now with the AI capabilities that Adobe puts into their stuff. But I switched to Final Cut for editing and to use the Mac ecosystem. I like AirDrop, things like that. And I use Canva for my thumbnails. I don't get quite the results that I'd like to have. To your point, Kyle, I would like to have better. It's just taking the time and spending the money to do it.
Yeah.
For me, if I had to recommend something to somebody, it's how to expedite your learning curve without spending money. So for me, it'd actually be consulting with AI. That's kind of my recommendation for anyone. Like, you can buy gear, and I've gone through several phases of thinking, oh, if I just have this piece of gear, I can be this much better as a YouTuber or a videographer. That's never the case. You can always get a lot more out of the gear that you have. So for me, doing like self-reflection stuff and seeing how you can improve and what you should focus on with like ChatGPT, that's what I would actually recommend. Surprisingly, it's free. I just recently paid for it, and to me, it's worth it. But consulting with ChatGPT on how to formulate your content, how to figure out what you want to do, can really expedite your learning curve. And I think that's the biggest thing. That and networking with other creators, that helps a lot too. But those two things are probably what I would recommend. And I know this is more of like a gear focused like episode, but
part of your gear, it's software. It's part of your gear.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. And so
like, anything you use, technically seen, is gear in my eyes. It's software, it's whatever. Because you can be the best video shooter if you don't know how to use DaVinci or Adobe, whatever, you know what I mean, like, or Final Cut Pro. Your stuff,
it's all a process.
You have to source it out. Now you're going to spend money on that. You know what I mean?
And for me, it's go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was gonna say it's the same thing. Like, if you don't know how to color grade, a more expensive camera is not going to do shit for you. So it's, you know.
And that's my whole thing. It's like, and if you're going to start using AI in the way that I use it, it allows you to not hit a wall. It's not Google. It is literally an expert in everything that you could need it for. So helping it self-diagnose where you're falling short, saying, hey, I'm trying to get this result, I don't know how to get there, and help me diagnose what's wrong. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like, for me, with learning these Sony cameras over the next week that I have them, like, I'll be using the heck out of it, saying, hey, I'm trying to get this result in it. How do I do this? And it can help be like this professional assistant. So anyways, that's what I would say, is using AI to actually help you, get better at something.
How long has AI been like substantial for people? Is it for the past year too? I know people fighting it too. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem now is, honestly, the way I look at it is, if you don't adopt AI into your workflow, it's going to be the same as like trying to say, I don't believe in machine power, I believe in people power back in the Industrial Revolution.
I want to stay on 8-track tapes, bro.
Right. Yeah. It's like you're going to get left behind. Like, that's the problem. And so learning how to adopt it into your workflow is going to help you dramatically. And it's not cheating. Like, I use it to help write my scripts. It's not saying anything that I don't believe, that I don't want it to say. It's just helping me get it. I don't do well whenever I just talk to the camera. I need to follow a path so that I can be efficient and not repeat myself. And so AI helps me write a script that's still my thoughts, but I can take a product page URL, paste it into ChatGPT, and say, hey, give me a list of bullet points that summarizes every feature and spec of this product, and then here's everything I like about it, here's everything I dislike about it, help me write this into a script. And then it is able to follow SEO trends and understand like the psychology behind how people watch content to help you design a script that is going to help you get more views and have more engagement. So that's why I like it. It's just unlimited what it can do.
The problem you're going to run into there is if you get unreleased products that don't exist yet.
True.
And then you got to do video on that. Then you have to also still learn how to do it the other way too. But
and that's a very good point. I haven't gotten to that point just that, there just yet, like doing NDA deals and stuff. Like that's definitely going to make it tough.
And then if you ever happen to get an unreleased camera, for the love of God, make sure you shoot JPEG and not RAW, because there's no RAW support for unreleased stuff. I've done that mistake a couple times where you get home and you're like, I don't know how to edit these photos. I had to do all my ZVE10 II photos that I showed examples of in mobile Lightroom. Because it was the only thing I could use it for, was I could send it to Creators app and then mobile Lightroom. That's the only way I could edit it without it falling apart. So.
Oh, wow.
Because I shot everything raw and I shot no JPEG, so when you put them on the computer, they didn't show up.
Oh,
I put them in like a ARW as JPEG. Yep.
Wow. Because I was going to say, in a I converter with Handbrake. Yeah.
Yeah, I converted it, but it did some weird thing where it disabled all the like HDR functions that the camera had, so it just looked like crap. It almost looked like everything was an S-Log in a way. So I was like, good thing I got no time to go back to San Diego and I can't redo any of this. And so I just started sending everything one by one from my camera to my phone through a Creator app, and then edited them all in Lightroom Mobile. It was just, at least they looked good enough on video I wouldn't print those photos, but
I hate having to do something twice. Yeah.
You got to remember sometimes when you get unreleased products that there's some things that you can't use.
Right.
But another good thing too is if you guys are starting a channel and you want guidance, especially when it's on search results, check out TubeBuddy.
Oh yeah.
Huge difference, I feel like, because it shows you how to set up your titles. It shows you how to set up your keywords, your descriptions. Because the way YouTube works is that it looks at your title, it looks at the first couple sentences of your description, and then it looks at your keywords, usually in order nonetheless too. And that's how it tells Google what your video is. So while you're doing that thing, you put your keyword search, you can search it, weighted against your channel even, to be like, this title is going to perform well or not. And then you can it'll say like, in your description, make sure you use these 6 words within the first 200 characters. Yep. And then it'll be like, hey, the title of your video should be the first tag. Would you like to add it now? And you hit add now. And then even when you upload your thumbnail, it'll say, here's all the videos that you're falling into that are this exact key search. Make your thumbnail look like make it stand out against these other ones. So then you can see if your thumbnail, while you see it in the list of stuff, if it looks good. Because that's the thing is when you search a video, you're going to look sometimes at the best thumbnail.
I think I had
maybe the most views or something, but
vidIQ.
So vidIQ took over my browser, and then TubeBuddy totally disappeared, and then I only had the free version. So TubeBuddy kept giving me like 3 keywords. Then I saved it, and then I went back in and I waited for the next.
Yeah. So if you're under like 1,000 subscribers, I think it's only like $5 a month for TubeBuddy. And then if you just keep using it, it's mine still pays like $5 a month or $6 a month, whatever it is. I just never upgraded or did anything, because I think once you do that, then it starts going, hey, like that deal does not exist for you anymore.
Yeah.
Would you like to upgrade? But I mean, if you do upgrade, there's photo A and B testing, like thumbnail A and B testing. I feel like the one that YouTube has right now does just as good of a job. So
yeah, it does. And once it like chooses which thumbnail's the best, it'll automatically make that the main thumbnail. So
yeah, sometimes I hate it though. I hate which ones it picks sometimes. When I did the ZVE10 video in San Diego, it picked the one where I had the camera facing backwards. So I don't know. That's the one that people wanted to see, I guess. So I was like, okay, it's not my least favorite one, but okay. But I know having some tools like that just help you out, and those are going to be more for like search result stuff. It really helps you kind of guide, and then even eventually you just kind of start to understand how to do it. But I used to struggle with that all the time. Like, what do I got to do for keywords? And it'll even bring up all these suggestive keywords and stuff. But the cool part is you can also go to other videos, other people's channels. It'll show you all their stats, all their SEO scores, all of their keywords.
Yep.
So you can maybe even like be like, oh, they got 90% SEO score. here's all their tags. I'm going to copy half of their tags and put them in mine. So it's really nice to be able to use that as a tool. I think that's a really good thing too, because if you can't get your videos viewed, who cares if you have a $7,000 camera, you know?
Yeah, right.
Sure.
I do.
So yeah, and you know, and then watch a lot of channels that use the gear that you are trying to learn on or use, because you'll see theirs looks good. Why isn't mine look good? A lot of times, if you watch their videos, you'll figure out why.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and I've had one of my friends from London. He
and doing it like you can't just learn it by watching YouTube videos. That's how I started my journey. Was like I was going through which is the best beginner camera, and I was skimming through all these YouTube videos, and I had all these gear reviews, and that's how I ended up. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot with the A6400. And then when all my gear came in, like I literally bought everything for like $3,000 total in my tax return, and I dumped it all in there. When the stuff came in, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, okay, where does this go? How do you use this? You know, now all the stuff that I just picked up, ISO and shutter speed, and you know, it's like, holy man. And then the more you use it and the more you go through pressure by having clients, now you have to perform, and the more you do it over and over. And it's the same with YouTube. If you do more and more shooting yourself, you become a natural in front of the camera, being able to talk to the camera, looking at a camera lens like this right now. I'm looking at a camera lens, but I'm actually looking at you, right? So I have to get that in my head. I'm talking to a person right now. This is my person, you know, or people. And that's how you can come across after a while. And you're going to learn how to be more emotional about stuff, and you become way more fluid with it. I mean, I'm a big sucker for watching my own stuff to motivate myself, to inspire myself. And what I liked about a video, then I just keep using that type of content or that type of shooting it. And I keep getting better and better at it. And it's the same with the editing software. I know there's some people that resource out there editing these days because they want to have more time shooting because they're growing. Yeah. I think, you are, right?
Yeah, half of my videos I pay someone to edit.
Yeah. So, but that's an expense. So now if you can't afford that expense, you got to be good at editing yourself.
Right.
And I like certain ways of the way I edit and how I make it hit with the beat and that stuff. That's why I'm looking forward for DaVinci 20 coming out, because it has the beat analyzer in there for the song. So I don't have to listen to the song first and mark all the spots where I want to make a cut.
That's nice. Wow.
See, I came from audio engineering and producing music, so I could just see. I just see it in the waveforms and just be like, click, you know, cut them where.
I try to do that too, but then for some reason, when I look at the stuff, like sometimes I think that's the one because it's really big, but even the waveform, when the way I download it and stuff, from. So which one is better? Is AAC or Wave better when you download stuff?
Wave is ultimately going to be more information.
Okay, yeah. So I have it in DaVinci, but I have to open it up bigger. So I have to make it bigger so I can see the lines. But then I listen to it too, and I see the cursor going through, and then the cursor passed, and I heard it, and I'm like, shit, was that it? So now DaVinci can do that for you.
Yeah. You know? I've spent hundreds of hours editing drums where you're looking across 9 tracks, 10 tracks, and then you cut, line up, line up, and that's for a whole song that just takes hours and hours to do. So now when I look at waveforms in here, I'm just like, oh, cut. And then like the hardest part is sometimes making sure that you're, and then with video, you want to actually cut your video slightly ahead of the beat. If you put it on the beat, it always looks like it's kind of late. That's just the way your brain processes it.
Lag. Yeah.
So you want to put it one frame before the beat.
Yeah.
So that it looks right.
Yeah.
I know that took me the longest to learn on editing videos, that you always want it slightly off, or you just do the whole thing and then you just shift it one.
The cutting tool from DaVinci, so you can go into the options and then you can say offset frame. So when I go I found the mark. I'm on the mark. I cut it, but it's actually cutting like 1 or 2 frames prior or after.
Yeah, and sometimes it won't even line up to. Depending on what your frame rate is, sometimes it might not even line up at all. You have to just. Yeah. That's where you put an effect on it, so it just covers that beat.
So do you guys film 24 or 29?
I do 24. Well, 23.98 or whatever.
Okay. Same. And the reason I do it is so that whenever I do 60 frames a second, I can slow it down to like by 60% or whatever it is, so I can get it really, really slow B-roll.
See, I film in 4K 60. If I do my editing in 24, it's always stuttering for some reason. I watch my videos and it's always after I rendered it and stuff, and it's in 24 or 23.97, whatever. And I watch it myself, and I can see the stutter. Like I can see a skip of a frame here and there, and I'm like, bro, I'm giving up on this 24 shit. So I went to the 29.97, and I had no issues ever since, and I've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, it's a more even ratio because it's 2 frames for every one on your timeline, whereas when you're doing 24 frames a second, it gets a little wonky.
Yeah, and that's why I hate it. I just can't. I don't know how people do it. I just, to this day, I don't understand it.
One trick I learned though, when you are cutting, if you do cut dead even with the beats, you can just go across your timeline and then just highlight everything and then just nudge it 1 frame back. And that's sometimes the way to do it, so you don't have to individually do every single one.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, if DaVinci's got an auto cut, that's going to be a pretty good game changer.
Yeah, it's going to be an auto marker for beats, so you can analyze the song, the AI, because they're implementing the AI stuff with it, and they're implementing the beat selection and beat recognition. Nice. So in that point right there, once you start going through it, then all of a sudden you have the audio line and you tell them, "Oh, give me all the hit beats," and it marks it for you. And you're like, "Yes, man." It's going to take away an hour of my freaking editing time.
I'm waiting for AI to be able to be able to see, like, take the transcript of my talking head, know what I'm talking about, recognize that on my B-roll, and just automatically put it there. That is when it can do that.
The thing that it's really close because I use Opus clips, right?
I do too. Yeah.
And the Opus clips right now, when you just clip anything, and it just literally goes through any of my videos from prior in order to get there. I don't know. Plenty of those shorties make a whole lot of sense, and they are a little bit apart from each other. Like, it's not that I just talked about it here because I'm just like you. If I don't have ChatGPT or anything tell me what I'm supposed to be talking about, I am going, and I'm going to be talking here, and then we're going to go at the end of the video. We're going to be talking about that again. You know what I mean? And Opus Clips found that, and I was amazed about it, how it made sense in plenty of the shorts, and that's how I was actually able of giving it a shot to upload a short every day. And so far it has been increasing my views from 80 daily on an average to almost 1,700 a day.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it's short views, you know, but it's still views. And to me, that means a lot. You know what I mean? To just get that thing up there, you know, and it's like, I have never been to the point where I had 1,000 watch hours a month.
Yeah.
I had to fight for those 1,000 watch hours, like, tremendously, promote my stuff over Facebook links and whatnot, and try share my content as far as I could and be active. You know,
my favorite thing about Opus Clips is I probably uploaded about 100 shorts from that platform over the last month or month and a half, and the fact that it auto hashtags and auto fills in descriptions, and you can connect it to, like, I have it automatically post to TikTok and Instagram like that, and then you can schedule it out. So I've got like 4 or 5 going live a day. I don't do that with YouTube because it doesn't fill in categories, tags, all that stuff. So I still have to do that manually. But I had one just. Me and Cozy were talking about like a video game, like what video game gives you that video game feeling you used to really enjoy. And I was like, this is not a good clip, but I'm going to post it anyways just for content. And it broke 200,000 on TikTok in 2 days. And I'm like, this is a terrible clip. Like, there's so much better stuff on here.
I mean, we look at how many terrible clips are out there from some of those teenagers, what they produce, and I look at that, I'm like,
for sure,
what the hell am I watching here? I will never get back those 15 seconds I just watched this.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's 1.5 million views, and it's like, what? Like, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
One thing I don't get frustrated by it, but I'm like, every now and then I'll see someone say, I worked so hard to get this 100,000, subscriber plaque, and they get their silver plaque, and they're like, I've been doing this for like 6 months. I put so much effort into this, and I'm like, I know, screw you, dude. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years.
I'm just
it's style content.
I have a job, so I just like to share my experience with it, and I'm just glad I hang out with people like you. So I learn from you guys every single day. Even when I watch the Discord, I'm like, what? You can do? Hell, wait, hang on. So now I'm going to research,
It's all thanks to Mark Stone.
It's how you do, the networking with creators. If you try to do it on your own, I'm telling you, you're going to drown. Well, and you're gonna hit a barrier at some point.
100%. Well, and think about like how much value all of us have gotten from each other in the last month and a half. We've known each other because of NAB, and then like if we all go back to NAB next year and we all travel as a group and we're meeting vendors together and hanging out and all this stuff, and naturally we're gonna attract more people into our gravitational pool that this group's gonna have. Like this could be the next. Like you see, like the Maddie, the Peter McKinnon, the Peter Linger, like all of them have kind of gone up together. Like this could be that next group. You never know, because if we network correctly and everyone in the group's got such a cool attitude and just wants to learn and help each other, and it's just I don't know, man. Like this is gonna be something special. I think.
I know. I ran across the NAB with a couple people that were real like arrogant, and I'm like, but then you look, they're on their own. They're not with anybody else.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird element to it. I will say about NAB, like those people that have those huge channels, when they go to an event like that, they are like celebrities there to people, and I think that just gets to a lot of people's heads.
Yeah.
Where when you start having hundreds of people come up to you all the time, you just start. I don't know. I've had nothing but good things to say about a lot of those, and I've had some times where it goes the other way around too. So
yeah.
Because a lot of people who have these huge channels, they can be the nicest people on the planet, and they've done it long enough to where it's not ego about it, and then there's some completely the opposite way. So, is what?
Well, Josh is my favorite on that one.
Oh yeah.
Brother Man didn't know me. I have a 5,000 subscriber channel. You know what I mean? And Brother Man just said, "Oh, come with me to the after party." Like, huh?
He kidnapped me and my friend Jason, who we called Gym Teacher. And we just went around the whole thing with him, doing a bunch of random videos, and
I need I need the
good
connection for that ceiling rig though. I need that.
Oh, the marble rig.
I'm so jealous. I want that so bad.
Literally, just
the arm
just
over
message.
here. I can show you the arm right here. There's the arm right here
for the product show that I do.
Of course, Condor Blue. You know what I mean? So
yeah, either between Brandon and Condor or. Joshua himself, like I don't know if he still has units available, but
it's now Marble. Like he just promoted it. It was his idea, and they took it over, and it's like a combo between Condor Blue and Marble.
It looks stagnant. The website, like I don't know how active they actually are with selling those anymore. All of their content is super old. Like I don't know if they're active.
I don't know either. I would have to text with him and see. You know what I mean?
Hey, even if they got a back of the shelf dusty ass unit, send it, because I will use the hell out of that thing.
Well, matter of fact, I can actually text him right now and ask him if you have one.
Just tell him there's this real sweet guy he met at NAB that I actually saw him at the small rig booth, and I'm like, who am I? I'm not gonna say hi. Like he's gonna be like, oh, great, another.
Well,
person.
That's the thing. You know, don't think that they don't. I mean, that's the thing is, don't think that someone whose huge channel doesn't know who you are either, because. Yeah.
That's the funny part. I ran the first time I went in 2023, and I ran across a couple people that had like 50,000, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, 500,000 subscribers, and two of them was like, "Hey man, where's your shirt?" My shirt? And he goes, "Yeah, you always say this thing at the end of your video," and it's what I say all the time: be a nice human, you know, make somebody else smile and pay it forward. Yeah. And he's like, "Bruh, we watch that all the time," and I was thinking to myself, dude, I have like 2,500 subscribers. Like, why are you watching my shit?
Dude, out of this entire Discord, I think I'm the only one that has not had an experience like that. Bro. I haven't had one person that was like, "Whoa, we know you."
I've had a few, yeah.
Well, I knew you from the YouTube because I came across a couple of your videos prior to meeting you at the NAB show.
Me? I just assumed it was from our live stream with Paul and
well, you're talking about Kyle, right?
No, I'm talking about you.
You saw my stuff before NAB?
Yeah, I did. Before NAB, I seen a couple of your videos about gear reviews, right? And that's why when I seen you there, but then I don't know, you just looked so stoic, and I was like, "Fuck, this guy is like a big time YouTuber too, because he get like how many thousand subscribers." So I talked to my wife about it too. She says, "Why don't you go talk to him?" It's like, "Nah,
no,
you're right."
Me,
and then I just sat there, and then you came over. "Hey man, you seem like a cool dude. I just figured I'd come over and talk." Sorry. "Yeah, man, let's talk."
Dude, that's wild. I had no idea. Okay, so live right now on this is the first time anyone's ever like recognized me before they met me. That's wild. But yeah. That's funny because I didn't know you knew who I was when I came over there, because I was just like, you had that white shirt on, you just looked so chill sitting there, and I was like, I just want to hang out, man. Like let's chat. And then the rest of the night, it was, you know, it was a
I know.
good
I was
night.
told by a couple people like, "Oh, bro, you came out there with that white bright shirt," and I was like, "That's the only church I have. It's my church shirt."
So back in like
well, right, and I was like, "Oh, what is the dress code there?" And then I heard afterwards, "Oh, there's people coming straight from the NAB to over there. They don't pay attention to the dress code." So I just never like show up with shorts and slippers and shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put on my church shirt there. You know. And
then we stumbled 15 miles back to like after that. After you left, Allo, is Kyle, Paul, Cozy, myself, and then Cozy was half carrying this poor lady that should have been in a wheelchair the whole time.
I know. I was calling for you guys too because I was talking story with Maddie and Josh on the corner over there. And then I see all you guys walking and say, "Hey guys, I'm over here. Guys, shit."
Did you really?
And Josh goes like, "Oh, they're your friends?" I said, "Yeah, just hanging out in the back over there. I told him I'm gonna be here." And he was like, "Oh, where are they going?" I said, "I guess they're going home." So, and I was
blitzed, dude. Your lady kept bringing me the Long Islands, and I was gone by the end of that night.
So I was gonna say, back in 2021, I had been on YouTube maybe for like a year. I used some of Josh Yo's LUTs, those like cyberpunk ones that he has, to make like a music video. And I had met Gene at like he had an event in, where's Notre Dame? Wherever that city is, in Illinois, Michigan area. He had like a brewery where they were naming a IPA after his like deceased dog. So I met him there, and then this is when like Josh was first starting to like promote the Orbit system.
Yeah.
And he went to Potato Jet's place, or no, maybe the other way around. Potato Jet went over to his place because he was going to post it on his channel as well. Somehow or another, you would think with these two guys, these huge YouTubers, talking about their system, that somehow my shit came up with them, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I know this one guy who used your LUTs to make this cool music video," and then Josh, whatever. So then I get this like message from them, and they're talking about me, and I'm like, "Why on earth is my name coming up in your guys is like hanging out with this?" So they just like sent me this cool video of them like, in the mask area. Them and Josh is like, "Hey man, that's the best I've ever seen anyone use my LUTs yet," and there's those photos, and I'm just like, what in the fuck? Like,
that's cool,
how am I like a nobody? I have like 1,000 subscribers, maybe.
Right?
How am I coming up in their guys' conversation? And
like Gene, for an example, was so shit faced when he came over. We were in Vegas, and it wasn't even NAB time. It was afterwards, like 6 months later. He was in Vegas again for another promotion of something else. And he came across me because he was staying at the same hotel I was staying at. And I seen him there, and I was rolling the dice at the crap table. And I'm looking at him, and I told him, I said, "Bro, that's Gene." And Gene looked at me, and he was there together with his buddy Sam. Sam tried to film something. He was like totally trying to take care of Gene. Gene was like so blasted. And then Gene started throwing up. And Sam was like, "Should I film this?" "No. Don't. Oh, no, you don't want to."
Only if it's in 4K.
Yeah, it's like he told me after the time, man, and he was leaning on me, and he was like, "So who are you?" And I was like, "Well, I am me." Like, and then we talked about YouTube a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, man, this whole YouTube stuff, man, that can change your life." And then he started walking away afterwards, and I was thinking to myself, "Wow. This is my first experience with Potato Jet after watching you for years."
That's crazy, man.
It's weird how you do see stuff though too. Like YouTube camera, at least in this camera niche, it's so small that even though there is a few hundred creators out there, like you see their stuff. You might not remember it right away, but I've seen this one guy's video. He's in our Discord, Dom. I've seen a couple of his videos that are clearly new. I'm like, they kind of look a little Chris Brockhurst-ish, the color and the style that he does. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I kept seeing them. And then my wife started a new vet job, like 10 miles from my house. And she's like, "Hey, one of my doctor coworkers, her fiance does YouTube stuff." I'm like, she's like, "He always complains about not having enough people to help him do stuff." And I'm like, that's exactly what I always say. So I checked out his thing. I'm like, I literally just saw this guy's stuff today, and like yesterday. So it can be, maybe bigger YouTubers aren't necessarily watching a lot of content because they're busy doing their own stuff. But I feel like most people do still pay attention to YouTube, and they've probably seen your stuff. They know who you are. They might need a reminder at some point too. And but it's just, even though you think you're a small creator, like people,
so many people these days too. It's like they come across so many people, you know. I mean, that's what it pretty much is. When you have that much big of a following and stuff, there is people that gonna show up, and then you're like, oh, I remember you from somewhere. I just can't put it there. Can you remind me? You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That happened to me. That happened to me in Mexico too, when I was just there. I was eating tacos. I had my camera on the table, and the guy that was sitting there, they were taking photos of their food and stuff with a A6700, and they kept looking at me, and then eventually the kid goes, "Are you on YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He looked at his phone. He goes, "Are you Kyle Watts?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I literally bought this camera from your video that you did in Mexico like 6 months ago." And I was like, that's so weird when you finally run into like, it's not weird when you're at like NAB because you're just expecting that, but or like you're in the place where people know you're there. But when you're in random places and stuff like that happens, and my first thought was, the camera's good for you though, right? It's good. He's like, I love this camera.
You don't hate it.
Thank you. Good. Yeah. I was like, the last thing I wanted to be like, you made me waste this much money on this or something.
Right.
And that camera's actually really good though, by the way.
Best thing
that's why I like this group, because I started my channel because of that, because I bought something that was really crap. Yeah. And that's why I started this channel, so I can review stuff because I'm using it. You know what I mean? I'm literally using it. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you if it's crap or not. You know.
Mm-hmm. Best thing we can do as we grow, man, is stay humble and stay hungry, right? And so, like, we're gonna have a lot of people that like how we talk about the big creators who have seen our stuff. They'll talk about us like that one day.
Maybe you guys.
No, I think so.
My channel is not niche down enough for that. I mean, look at my channel. I get tech reviews, and I get drone reviews, and I get volcanic.
That's what I'm worried about. You know, I realized that, like, I feel like I'm kind of on the fringe of like this group because I was walking around NAB with the Osmo Pocket 3 feeling out of place. I was like, I need to have a mirrorless camera hanging off my neck because everyone's looking at me like, is this guy serious? So I'm like, I feel like I'm too broad.
Pocket 3s though. I walked around with mine, and I had it mounted on top of my A7 III. Yeah. And I was like, dude, there's like a lot of people with this Osmo 3. So that thing is really like famous.
Well, when I went to CES, it was great. Everyone had the Pocket 3. But when I went to a place where there's legitimate videographers who have like real equipment, and I was walking around with it, I felt like I need to have a real camera.
Why are you filming with that little thing? You know what I mean?
So I didn't film anything when we were there because I've been there like 4 years in a row. First year I spent all the time filming stuff. My video was kind of whatever. The second year I was going to do like, I'm going to go to this booth and they're going to talk about this thing and I'll put out that video as a short. I never even put it out. And then the last 2 years I was like, I'm just going to bring my stuff because when you're going up to companies, they go, oh, you're a YouTuber, right? And you're like, yeah. So it's like, I just like to have the camera out so you know right away, hey, I do this, you know, like, hey, this cage is yours. Like, you guys want more stuff that I could review or so on and so on. So I think it just puts you in a different look to companies. So I think there is some legitimacy about walking around with like a big mirrorless camera or something more professional. Because sometimes I feel like they look at that and be like, well, this guy clearly invests money into his stuff. He's probably doing good videos, so on and so on. So like I didn't film anything this year. In fact, I think the only thing I got was a couple of the nomadic bags that are going to come out later. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, I'm just going to get both. I'm just going to get both bag colors just to have the footage for when I need it. Because I'll get one of those bags, but I won't have both. Yeah. So I was like, if I get a bunch of B-roll of it now, I'll have at least the colors. So
I need to hit up those guys. That was easily the coolest group of dudes at NAB was Nomadic. Yeah. James and oh my god, I can't remember the other dude's name. Those are good. That's good. Those are good people.
God, yeah. If only there was some other person here in the same
was it
chat
Kyle
that had
also?
the same name.
Okay, because I initially thought I was like, I think it was James and Kyle, but I was like, wait, no, I'm gonna confuse it with this Kyle. So.
They're good guys. They
are.
All right, it's been 2 hours. I think my viewers had enough of us rambling about stuff. So if you guys want to stay in the studio, you guys can stay in there. For my audience, the stream is over. I appreciate Kyle Watts and definitely Corey show up over here. Freaky Tech Reviews. Check out that channel. So I'm going to throw the link in the description afterwards, after this whole thing is done. I appreciate all of you guys come by and watch it. And thank you, Kyle. Thank you for Corey for fucking swinging by. I love it. All right. Until then,
having
please
us.
don't forget, be a nice human, make somebody else smile, definitely pay it forward. Love y'all. Aloha.